Canberra is a mix of both worlds. It's a hidden gem. Until you visit that city, you wouldn't know like what's there to offer.
Canberra is not a vibrant city to live or stay or study. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Canberra. I often say this. People come to Canberra for two reasons: either it's work, study, or to just live, have a good life there. Canberra is known as a student city. Canberra has more than 50% of the population have got a bachelor degree or higher. So we are the most educated city in Australia as well.
Hai, kembali lagi bersama saya, Doni dari AECC Indonesia, di acara Kumat, Kuliah Keluar Negeri di malam Jumat. Malam hari ini saya ditemani oleh representatif dari Canberra Institute of Technology dengan Raj. Hai Raj.
Hi Doni, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. So, please introduce yourself. Maybe.
Sure. My name is Raj. I am the marketing manager at Canberra Institute of Technology. We are Canberra's TAFE, a government-owned provider based in the capital of Australia.
Okay, good to hear that. So, how many years did you live there, probably?
Yeah, I have an interesting journey because I came to study in Canberra. So I've been living there for 6 years now.
6 years now.
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, but time passes really quickly in Canberra.
Okay, so basically we have like some questions from the parents and some parents from the internet. We call it netizen in Indonesia.
Of course.
And it is some it's not dumb question as well. So it's like some questions parents that asking to us as a counselors.
As a counselor,
so, okay.
There are no silly questions.
There's no silly questions.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so the first myth is like Canberra is a boring city with nothing to do. What do you think about that?
Yeah, great question. And I get this question a lot. And I just want to say, I've been living myself for 6 years there. If it was a boring city, firstly, I wouldn't be living there.
Yeah.
And secondly, no, it is not, because we have lots of things to do, especially March. March is our busiest time in Canberra. We have got so many activities going on. Every year around this time in March, we have the Enlighten Festival, which is the Festival of Lights in Canberra. We have the Chief Minister specially doing a welcome to our international students. The Chief Minister organizes an event for the students. And throughout the year, events, ACT, Tourism Canberra, they would put events throughout the year, including like multicultural festivals and various other events. So Canberra is a mix of both worlds. It's a hidden gem. Yeah, and until you visit that city, you wouldn't know like what's there to offer. I will try my best to communicate that through my messaging today. But yeah.
Okay, so you must be missed this year festival in March, right?
Yes, I am actually very sad that I had to miss that, but I'm actually happy at the same time because I get to spread the word about Canberra to the rest of the world as well. Yeah, this is the first time I'm missing the event, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It's for good cause.
It's good cause. Okay, the second is like Canberra is not a vibrant city to live or stay or study. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Canberra. I often say this. People come to Canberra for two reasons: either it's work, study, or to just live, have a good life there. Canberra is known as a student city.
Student city.
Yes, we have lots of students coming from interstate, coming to Canberra to either study, work, and it's a very vibrant city, very safe for international students. And in my personal opinion, and also looking at the statistics, Canberra has more than 50% of the population have got a bachelor degree or higher. So we are the most educated city in Australia as well.
Okay, this must be very safe because all people are educated in Canberra.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So the next question is very interesting. Is there are no good restaurants, cafe in Canberra?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. In terms of Canberra as a destination, we have got the most number of per capita restaurants compared to any other city in Australia. We also, another stats that I just want to throw out there is that we have got the most number of per capita hatted restaurants than any other city in Australia.
Okay, have you tried any Indonesian cuisine in Canberra before?
Personally, I love Indonesian food.
Yeah.
I do like the nasi goreng and
Nasi goreng,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have tried a lot of Indonesian foods. My housemate, she was Indonesian.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so she used to cook for us
Okay. So
occasionally.
maybe trying like rendang, sate.
Yes, the beef curry,
Yeah, beef
Ramadan
curry.
beef
Yeah, yeah,
curry.
rendang.
Yes. It's my personal favorite.
Okay.
Yes, I love and in Dixon, which is the suburb I live in Canberra, that suburb has so many Asian restaurants.
Okay.
You can get all sorts of cuisines from
okay.
across the globe.
Oh, so it's not that hard to find the Asian cuisines or
No,
maybe
so
the halal food maybe.
yeah, no, and in fact, even halal food as well. It's like most restaurants nowadays serve halal food as well,
Okay.
and you also get halal meats from everywhere in the
Everywhere.
butcher shops and everywhere,
Oh, okay.
which are spread across Canberra. There are a lot of butcher shops in
Butcher farm,
Canberra
okay.
which do halal meat as well. The suburb that I was talking about, Dixon, it has just Asian cuisine predominantly.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not very hard to find Asian
So it's
food in
everywhere is
Canberra.
Asian food, right?
Yes, that suburb basically is known for its Asian food, and that's the unique thing about Canberra. Like we have another suburb called Manuka, where it's good for breakfast and things like that. Then we have the city centre where there are you get a lot of Australian cuisines and cuisines across the globe as well. And so we are very. Canberra is structured in a way that you can find everything there.
Oh, okay. It's like
Yes.
a mini world there in Canberra.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the capital. We have got 120 embassies, more than 120 embassies
Yeah, it's
located in
maybe at
Canberra.
least more than 120 cuisines in everywhere.
I would say so. Yeah,
Okay,
mix of
okay.
both worlds.
Mix of both.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the Canberra is of course is the capital city. So many of them like asking Canberra is a political city. Too serious. There's no funny thing to do there.
No funny thing to do there. There are lots of funny things to do there. Canberra is known for being a bush capital. If you look at Canberra if you look at the image of Canberra, by just looking at it, you would know why it's known as the bush capital, because we are known for the greenery surrounding the region. Great place for going hiking, biking, or even kayaking. You can do that.
There's a swan in the ACT logo, right? What does that mean? Swan. I mean, there's a swan, right?
Yeah, there is a swan in the ACT logo, and we have a zoo as well in
Zoo,
Canberra.
okay.
So yes, and I go hiking on the weekends. There is kangaroos everywhere.
Kangaroos everywhere.
They don't attack you. They don't do anything. You just mind your own business. You keep walking, trying to get to the top. So that's great. Canberra is known as a cycling city as well. So you'll find cyclists everywhere in Canberra. It's the easiest means of communication. Doesn't cost anything, and also it's good for your fitness as well. I mentioned about the events that are happening earlier in Canberra. Throughout the year, there are things to do. So yes, we do have as Canberra as a hub of politicians, but at the same time, as I mentioned, it's known as a student city as well. So we have lots of students coming in, and occasionally when the uni is on, it's so busy with just students everywhere. And you occasionally do bump into politicians as well in Canberra. They're not surrounded by security or anything. Very friendly to talk to. Not at all serious there. Seriously, I have bumped into the Chief Minister one day while I was walking, just going for a jog. The Chief Minister, Chief Minister is Andrew Barr. He was with his partner. Just had a normal conversation with him.
Okay, just let me know some jokes in Canberra, maybe. You have some jokes?
I mean, you put me on the spot here, but and I'm not too funny, unfortunately. No, I am. I can't recall any jokes, unfortunately.
Okay, then we can call it anytime you do. Okay, so the next thing is Canberra is too far away from any major city in Australian city.
Canberra is actually, if you look at where Canberra is situated, it's very strategically located. Canberra is just 3 hours drive away from Sydney. And if you take a flight, if Melbourne is just 1 hour drive away, 1 hour flight away,
Fly
sorry.
away.
And in terms of Melbourne, if you want to drive, it's about 7 hours drive to Melbourne. The nearest is Sydney, the big city. And if there is a bus that you can take for $40 approximately one way.
One way.
We can just, and I do that on the weekends. I'll go to Sydney, stay the weekend,
okay.
come back. If I want to experience the big city, Sydney is not too far away. In fact, most of our students would come to Sydney, and then they find about this great place called Canberra, and they regret that they didn't move to Canberra in the first place. And had they known about Canberra as a destination and how good it is for students, and how conveniently located it is,
because it's the middle in Victoria and New South Wales.
Yeah,
right?
almost the middle in, and there's the story about how the two big cities were fighting about being the capital. And it's a,
do we have, like, for students, any discount for the buses or train go to other city?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So within Canberra, our public transport, we offer 50% concession to move within Canberra. Now, talking about, so that's only for students. If you're a full-time student at any of the universities or at a TAFE, you get 50% concession on public transport. If you do want to go interstate, we have the buses which are operated by Murray's or one of the bus providers. They do student fares as well, so you get concession on students fare as well.
It's a lot cheaper than the other transportations.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you can also take the train network. We do have train networks, which the trains are cheaper than going on to the bus, but they just take 1 hour longer.
Yeah.
So most people, the preferred way of communication is through the bus. Very convenient, 3 hours to Sydney. You can take the bus to Melbourne as well. Yeah, so I do that.
And it is applied to the concessions with the bus to interstate.
Yeah, the concessions so the bus companies, they have concessions especially for students as well. Yes, and Transport Canberra has put discounts for within Canberra, which is 50% concession. For you to travel within Canberra. We have excellent tram networks in Canberra. The phase 1 is built. We are working on phase 2, which will stop just outside CIT's new campus.
I see. So it's like pretty convenient if you're walking everywhere in Canberra.
Yeah, right? It's very convenient. And honestly, I cycle to work. It takes me about 20 minutes. It's about 10 kilometers, a bit of cycling, but good for me. Yeah, so it's very convenient to get around. If I drive, it takes 5 minutes. 10 kilometers, 5 minutes. And it's the quality of life is good.
Okay. So the next one is Canberra is not tourist-friendly city. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question that you have there. And one of the statistics that comes to my mind, it just pre-COVID in 2019, you have the Lonely Planet rankings of cities to visit. And Canberra was ranked as the 3rd best city to visit. And we had beaten Melbourne and Sydney in that ranking. So we were the 3rd best city to visit for tourism purposes. And named by
any attractions that you think that must to visit in Canberra?
Yes, the Parliament House. That's the first place that I always want to. When I was a student, I was wanting to come. Parliament House is number 1 for me. And then we have various things like the Black Mountains and the Telstra Tower. You can see the Telstra Tower from most of the places in Canberra. That's very well known. Lake Burley Griffith. That's a great place to visit as well. We have various exhibitions and things happening as well that you can go through. We also have the War Memorial and things like that, just if you want to look at the history of Australia and things like that.
Any advice that we have to visit in maybe in months or seasons?
For me personally, the best time to visit in Canberra is spring.
Spring, okay. So it's around this month.
Yes, and so no, actually, it will be around September. So now at the moment, so the winter will be about to start. As we're still in the summer, winter will start pretty soon now. March is great for events. But I think, in my own personal opinion, the city looks beautiful during springtime. Also because spring is my favorite season.
It's
so I'm
not
a bit
too cold
biased.
as well, right?
during spring.
Yeah.
Spring onwards, it's not cold at all. So I think the one thing that I want to put there out there is the average temperature in Canberra is about 10 degrees.
10 degrees.
But we have about I may be wrong on the exact number of dates, but we have about 234 plus sunny days. So the sun is always out. So it's not a dark, gloomy, place
things,
that people think that if it's cold, it's going to be dark, gloomy. But fortunately for us, when the sun is out, even if it's cold, it doesn't feel bad. We are not freezing or anything. It's with the sun out, it's really nice to live in Canberra. And when the sun is out, you'll find everyone outside. Yeah.
That's answer my next question. Is Canberra is too cold and gloomy?
Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't realize you had that one as a question, but I'm glad I touched upon it, because like the average temperature is 10 degrees.
10 degrees.
So, and during from springs, from September onwards, it's the best time.
It's the best time.
Yeah, it's not cold at all. July, yes, I agree. July is the coldest month. You'll have temperatures dropping to about 5 degrees. I would say. But most of the, if you live at a uni accommodation, you will have good heating facilities. And if you live, so in terms of getting outdoors as well, when the sun is out, it's not too bad as well. And I personally enjoy the cold as well. It's with the sun being out, of course.
Is there any snow in Canberra maybe?
Yeah, so in the past 5 years that I have been in Canberra, it barely snows within the city. So if you want to go to the ski resorts, experience the snow, the ski resorts are just 2 hours drive away from Canberra. Yes, but it doesn't usually snow in Canberra. Yeah, if you have to go a bit further.
2 hours away.
2 hours away.
It's still okay lah.
Yes, and being in Asia, we don't really get to experience snow, right? So that's good to something unique that you can get to experience if you come to Canberra. The ski resorts, a lot of people go skiing. And I personally enjoy going to the snow as well. So I love that experience. So I know I won't get it in Asia anyway, unless it's artificial. But
in the middle of the mall.
Yes, middle of the mall. Yeah, growing up, I remember I used to go through those malls. Yes.
So same here in Jakarta as well.
Exactly.
So the next one is, there's nothing to see or do in Canberra if you are not interested in politics.
Canberra, like I mentioned earlier, like Canberra is a hidden gem. There are places maybe which are not many people know about it. You often hear about the political places, maybe the art centers, exhibitions, and things like that. But there is more to Canberra than that. You can experience things in Canberra which is good for families, which is good for students. Like by that I mean, like if you are into like outdoor sports and things like that, like going on bushwalking and things like that, or if you want to go around and have a good time in one of our restaurants across Canberra, that are various suburbs that have their own. In each suburb, there are different cuisines that they can try out as well. You can also experience a lot of events happening here. We have outdoor cinemas as well that are great.
Outdoor cinemas.
Yes, outdoor cinemas. Yeah, you can. That's one of the things in Canberra which has lately become
we don't have that cinemas here, I believe.
No, and so outdoor cinemas is one of the things that it's picking up, and a lot of people are enjoying it. Apart from the usual things that tourists do, which is go to these like attractions, popular attractions. We also have we are known for our for if you want to go for a picnic. Take a rug, go by the lake, just have some snacks. Enjoy. You can also do barbecues at our public parks.
Public parks. Oh, you can do barbecue there.
Yes. So
do you have like to bring the barbecue thing, or it is only the
barbecue grill and everything? It's provided already. Yes. So all you have to do is get your own food and the cooking utensils.
That's good there.
Yeah. So so over the weekend, I would occasionally have barbecue with friends at one of the parks we have in Canberra. and it's spread across.
It is cheaper as well for students, right?
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up because yes, as a student, you live on a budget,
Yeah.
and there are things that you can do to enjoy your time in Canberra.
Okay.
This includes one of them.
And tourism.
Yes, and getting around is cheaper as well with the discounts and everything. Because most people also move from interstate as well, they want to get around and explore Canberra as well.
Canberra.
And a lot of universities organize events throughout the year as well, which is another great way to socialize with people. And
So you meet each other even though they are different university.
So and yes, that's one of the things. And you have sporting facilities, football, soccer, various things where you can sign up to those clubs as well, and you can be part of those sporting events as well. So that's another good thing about Canberra. Yeah.
Okay. So because we can do that there, barbecue in the park.
Yes.
We can really do that in Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
It is my to-do list in Canberra.
To-do list in Canberra. Yes, I'm glad I was able to help there.
So the next is there's no diversity in Canberra.
Diversity in terms of our population.
Students, population. I believe not, because you already mentioned that you have like 120.
Yeah, and most important stat there apart from that is that 30% of the people were born overseas. The 30% of the population we have in Canberra, approximately. So we have about 500,000 people, but we have statistics showing that most 30% of the people were born actually overseas. Than in Canberra. So it shows the diversity as well. In terms of CIT as well as an institution, we have got students from over 60 different countries studying
60.
Yes. So we are very diverse in terms of our student numbers. And so are the big universities as well. So often I get these questions about diversity, and I always point out that it's the capital of Australia, and there's so many embassies. There are in terms of students numbers, we are you will find students from, like our students, you have students coming from Latin America, from Europe, from Korea, from Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia. So
there's so many nationalities there.
So many nationalities there, and I often at orientations, when I get to see them all, I'm very happy about how diverse we are as an institution, and that will benefit Canberra, because you'd see diversity in Canberra eventually as well. And I studied in Canberra. And I have so many friends from so many different nationalities. So I don't think it's because of the stats, like 30% of our people were born outside Canberra, from overseas. It's a very diverse place, and it's very safe for students as well.
Because it's student city anyway.
Yes. No, and we are amongst the top 40 student cities, top 40 best student cities
in the world.
Oh, yes. So there are stats out there. It's just us, and we want to spread the word about Canberra to more people, and this is a great platform to do that. So thank you so much for organizing this.
Thanks. It's our honors. So the next one is, I think you already answered this. The people in Canberra is unfriendly. Of course not.
Yeah. So I want to share a personal story. So when I first, so I want to share a personal story. When I first came to Canberra on my first day, I was walking towards the shopping center, and I'm from India originally. And when people randomly greet you on the street, you would be like, okay, why is this person talking to me? So someone just mentioned, hi, how are you going? And I was confused as to why is this person talking to me? Secondly, how am I going?
Is it a scam? Is it a scam for tourists?
And as I went into the city, more and more people started greeting me, and I was like, Wow, this is amazing. Because in Asia, random people
Yeah.
won't talk to you, or if you're in the coffee shop, then they
Yeah.
won't ask you how your day is how your day was and how's it
Yeah.
going and things like that. So Canberra is a laid-back city. People are very friendly. Randomly, wherever you are, everyone is very kind and friendly. And I feel like, especially towards international students, they recognize you're from the
From
outside,
outside,
so they
so.
tend to go out of their way, sorry, to help you in whatever ways they can. I'm
Okay.
talking about the local Australians
Lucas,
here
yeah.
and local Canberrans. They would go out of their way to help you in whatever ways they can.
Wow, it's
Um,
great to know that.
yeah, and personally, as an international student, I felt really good about it. That yes, it's a great city.
Seriously.
I'm welcomed here.
Yeah.
People want me here,
So it's
and
totally myth.
yeah, it's a total myth.
Myth.
And I often say this because I have lived in Sydney as well, Melbourne, and I often travel to different cities as well. And I have nothing against other cities, but I feel like the people in Canberra are just more friendlier
Yeah.
than other cities. Sorry, but they
Yeah,
are
yeah,
totally.
definitely. Okay. Then the next question is about the family. So Canberra is
Mm,
not a family friendly city.
mm.
Do you think it's family friendly? Like things to do for family there?
A lot of things to do for families. I mentioned earlier about one of
Yeah.
the picnics that are like a popular
Yeah.
things to do amongst families and students, and we have so many attractions. And Canberra is great if you want to raise a family as well. So a lot of people do end up having a family in Canberra. In my personal opinion, if you want to live in Canberra, it's for families. It's a perfect location. It's great because you get mix of both worlds. If you want to go out party, you have places for that as well. If you want to go out, have a good family time, go out for movies night, or go out checking one of the attractions in Canberra,
Okay.
you can find that as well.
I saw.
It's I won't say it's fair to say that there are not a lot of things
Family.
to yeah, not many families
Okay.
and things to do in Canberra. Families like to be in a laid back environment where it's not where it's just easy to get around, and you have good quality education
Yeah.
for the kids,
For the kids.
and the cost of living is not bad.
Yes.
So I think Canberra ticks on all the boxes for families as
Okay.
well, apart from it being very
How many
student friendly.
percent do you think like compared to other big cities in Australia? The cost of living.
The cost of living, how we compare to other big
Yeah.
cities. I think I often say that we are affordable compared to major cities like Sydney or Melbourne. Like if you're looking at average rental, if you're renting a place, like if you're a student, we have our own accommodations. The cost is about $195 a week.
195.
And that's
Okay.
the price, which in my opinion is very reasonable in the
Yeah,
current environment.
for some big cities it's around 400 to 500
Yeah.
a week.
And
So
in,
it triples.
yes, and 195 you're staying in the city. This is our
Yeah, yeah.
accommodation right in the city center. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
further away from city.
You don't
So
have
there
to
is a
travel like by train or
yeah,
bus. Yeah.
exactly. You can just walk to the campus. It's that easy. And there's often that misconception that you want cheaper accommodation, so go further,
Yeah,
like
go further,
far
far
away.
away.
But luckily in Canberra, like even personally me, I live about 15 minutes bike ride,
Okay.
and I pay about $205 a week
Okay.
personally.
How nice is it? Like 200 per week? Like
Yeah.
is it like studio? Or?
Yes, so I have a very big space that I'm living in. I live in a studio with it's a townhouse that I live in,
Townhouse, okay.
And I
You
live,
get the townhouse with 200.
yes, and have a really big backyard as well.
I think we only get guest house in Melbourne or Sydney. I think in Sydney, yeah, we only get
Okay.
guest house, small guest house.
That's very interesting. Yes, and I've heard a lot about it, especially the rental prices in Sydney. They are going through the skies. But no, I get my own townhouse. I have my own backyard as
Yeah.
well.
It's
which is-
pretty good.
yes, and if you live like a bit further away from that, you can get it for even cheaper than $205 a week.
Okay.
But I choose to live like within 15 minutes of the city, so I'm paying 205. But if you
Okay.
go further away,
It's cheaper.
you can
especially.
go that. But like I mean,
It's
around
not worth it. You
yeah,
can live there. It's
yeah,
still cheap.
it's not going to be that cheap,
Yeah.
so might as well leave nearby. I personally feel like it's great for rentals as well. You get
Okay.
big space.
Yeah,
Uh,
but compared to the like salary, how much like some people said that a big salary compared to big living cost is always like in line.
Yeah, yeah. So um, in terms of comparing
Yeah.
rental prices to
Yeah.
your salary, like
Yeah.
how much percentage
Yeah.
it would be. Yes. So generally, the guide is that it should be less than 30%
Is it? Okay.
of your income.
Of your okay. That's
So
good. Still good.
should be around. I mean, ideally, it should be around 20-25%
Okay.
of your income that you're earning, but it shouldn't go more than 30% of your income
Income.
that you're earning. In
Okay.
terms of income, Canberra has the highest weekly average earnings across
Okay.
any city in
Across
Australia.
cities.
So
Okay.
you can earn a lot in Canberra,
Okay.
and these are government statistics, nothing that I'm making up. So
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
the highest weekly average earning in Canberra.
Okay, so it's still good pay even though you are living in the cheap place, right?
Yeah, good pay. You have a lot of
Yeah.
savings then.
Yeah, because some people thought that I have to go to big city, especially in Indonesia. We are going to Jakarta from every cities
Every
that we have,
cities,
yeah,
yeah. No,
because
no,
it's high living cost but high pay rate.
high pay rate. Yeah.
We have that mindset here.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. And Canberra is good for working, for living. We also have the lowest unemployment rate
Okay.
across all cities in
Okay.
Australia.
That's good.
So great for living, great for working, great money as well.
Okay.
After you graduate or on your post-study visas, that's great for students.
Yeah, it's
Or
longer
even
than the other city as well.
yeah, and even while they're studying as well, they can work. That's the
Yeah.
other thing.
Okay. This how hard to find a part-time job in Canberra?
Um, depends on what jobs you go for, but suppose, for example, when I was a student, I was working in hospitality.
Okay.
Mostly students would often in their first years, you'd find students working in retail jobs, hospitality, or working as an office admin while they are studying. So it's quite easy, honestly.
okay.
Walk into any restaurant, you'll get a job.
Okay, just walk in?
Just walk in with your resume. You don't
Okay.
even have to do the
Online
application per
thing,
se.
application,
You
do the
can do
interview.
that, but in my personal opinion, just walk in, get a job. I got one in 2 days, and and my brother lives in Adelaide, and he's comparing his experience to my experience. Mine was super easy. I got a job in 2 days.
Job
No
in two
experience or
days.
anything. Just 2 days, I got a job.
Okay.
And it took him six months to get a job. In my opinion, because we need workers, we need skilled people,
Yeah.
we need, and we also have the lowest unemployment rate. So there are a lot of jobs to go around
there.
for everyone. There is a job for everyone.
Okay.
You just have to put yourself out there, and
Just walk in
yeah,
there everywhere.
everywhere.
In cafes, hotels.
Everywhere, just go out there. Retail, there's so many jobs there.
Okay.
And office jobs as well. If you want to, office jobs are where something. There are lots of them. If you're looking into like admin, if you're in your first year, I think that will be more suitable job for you. And then you
Okay.
can also look for internships in Canberra. We organize placements for students as well, guaranteed placements organized by our institution.
Because it's easy to find a job, right?
Yeah, it's
Is it
very
paid
easy.
like for internship in Canberra?
In Canberra, it depends. So, for example, one of our popular courses is commercial cookery. We offer about 700 hours of paid industry placement as part of the program.
Okay. As part of the program, guaranteed,
yes.
and it is paid.
And it is paid. And
Is it too good to be true, right?
it is too good to be true. And often our students would find a job themselves for commercial cookery as a cook or any restaurant. We don't even have to help our students. They don't require help because it's so easy to find a job in Canberra.
Okay.
But we do help them if they need the help to place them. We also have our own kitchen, which is open to the public on campus.
On campus.
So that's another amazing thing. And other universities, they also offer industry placements as well. Often there's a stipend amount to the placement, so you do get a reward for undertaking the placement, apart from the valuable experience. Because keeping in mind, the experience is what an internship is for. That's the good thing. Work integrated learning.
Okay, so for students, it sounds like you have the good ROI, right? You invest with the student tuition fee, and then you get paid much, even in internship as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
and that's really good because for it helped me as a student. I got the experience, I got paid as well, and I that helped me get a job after my studies as well. So it's a good deal for students overall, and it's all about ROI that you mentioned, return on
Yeah.
investment. Education is a big investment that students have to make, that parents have to make,
Yeah.
and you want to make sure that you go to a location that gives you that return that
Yeah.
you're looking for as well. And Canberra just ticks on all the boxes, like I mentioned again.
Okay, and let's talk about the entertainment. Like, we have like something like anything to do in or entertainment in Canberra. So we don't talk about work, work, work.
Work. No, so there are lots of if you're into partying, or if you want
Yeah.
to do visit the clubs, and if you want to visit the foreshore for good restaurants, great place. The
Good place.
city on a Thursday night, the city would be filled with students.
Thursday night.
Thursday is the student night.
Oh, okay.
So
It's like a sale thing or anything.
yeah, because everything is free on a Thursday.
Free.
So yes.
That's why it's student night.
Yeah, so all the clubs would have free entries on a Thursday.
okay.
Yeah, so on every Thursday you'll see groups of people going towards the city
For the freebies.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And on other days, because on Friday, Saturday you have to pay an entry fee like any other clubs
Yeah.
in Sydney or Melbourne. But Thursday is the student night.
Okay.
You get to go to any club. There's no entry fee. Do karaoke or just hang out with your friends at some
Okay.
really nice restaurant near the Kingston foreshore area, looking at the overseeing the ocean. You can
Oceans,
just so you can
Basically, everywhere is entertainment in Thursday night.
yeah, Thursday night is the most popular night. While saying that, on Friday and Saturday, you have a lot more people as well coming out. People who have just finished their work, and so it gets busier on Friday and Saturday. You will see our shopping centers being just filled with people everywhere. And often people say that there are not enough people in Canberra. Wait, we have about 500,000 people there. And
Because everywhere outside in Thursday night.
yeah, and yeah, everywhere it just it's a vibrant city. Like there is things to do. It's just that we haven't marketed it properly or communicated that to the people that are interested.
Because there's too many stigma in Canberra.
That is the biggest problem. There's too many that people think, oh, it's a very quiet city
Yeah.
and there's nothing to do much there. Yes,
The place
it's
is
not
only for old people.
it's only for old people, yeah. But you can't come to Canberra and expect something of a scale of Sydney or Melbourne.
Yeah.
Those are bigger cities and they would have bigger festivals that are happening. But that doesn't mean that Canberra has nothing to do. We have things, activities throughout the year that students can go to it, whether it's singing songs or whether it's like a singing festivals, various music festivals happen in Canberra. And keep in mind, Sydney is not far away.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can go every weekend, right?
Yeah, and the parents would be probably happy that they come to Canberra so their kids can focus on their studies, while at the same time have things to do to enjoy. And they can go to the big city as they please on the weekend. So there are a lot of things to do. If I start listing them out, the list will be too long.
Okay, so any things to give to Indonesian student that plans to study in Australia, especially in Canberra?
My message to students that Indonesian students that want to study in Canberra is that do your research, look at things that Canberra has to offer as a study destination. Canberra offers everything that a student needs. It's a student city. It's affordable to live. You have high wages in Canberra, low unemployment rate, and most importantly, you get quality education.
Quality education.
When you graduate, your degree would be recognized Australia-wide and even overseas. That's my main message, that Canberra offers everything that you should look for when you're looking to go overseas to study. And as a destination, there are a lot of myths about Canberra, and Unfortunately, we have this platform to share to parents that they're not true.
They're not true.
Yes.
Oke, that's good. That's a good message to teman-teman. Terima kasih telah menonton podcast kita. Pastikan selalu subscribe Instagram kita di AECC.Indonesia dan juga subscribe di podcast Apple Podcast dan Google Podcast di Spotify juga. Thank you teman-teman. See you next podcast.